On this 2015 through 2025 F150 with the 3.5 EcoBoost, P0087 means the PCM may be seeing that it can no longer maintain the fuel pressure it is trying to control. The truck may run rough, feel weak, crank longer than normal, or in some cases have a hard start or no start type complaint. Broadly, possible fault areas can include fuel level or supply, the low pressure side, the fuel pressure sensor, the high pressure pump and fuel volume regulator circuits, injector leakage or damage, and less often, a control module concern. Start with the basic system checks, and if other fuel pressure or pump circuit codes are present, check what they mean first before chasing P0087. Begin with the ignition on. Access the PCM data and look at the FLI PID. Make sure the FLI value is greater than 15%. Add fuel if necessary. Before clearing anything, capture the stored operating data and confirm the fuel level was above that point when the code set. A fuel level below 15% can set this code with no other fault present. If P0087 is the active concern after that check, move into the low-pressure fuel test. Next, check the low-pressure fuel system with the engine running. Key off. Safely relieve fuel pressure. Install a mechanical fuel pressure gauge, then key on and pressurize the system. Start the engine and watch the mechanical gauge. The low-pressure fuel system needs to be greater than 310 kPa 45 psi. If it is greater than 310 kPa 45 psi, keep going in this P0087 diagnosis. If it is not greater than 310 kPa 45 psi, stop this high-pressure side check and diagnose the low-pressure fuel supply before going farther. Now compare what the scan tool is reporting to what the mechanical gauge is actually seeing. Key off, relieve the pressure, disable the fuel pump, then key on and compare the FLP PID in kPa against the mechanical gauge. After that, pressurize the system again, start the engine, let fuel pressure stabilize, then cycle the ignition off and back on and compare them again. The FLP PID values should be within 153 kPa 22 psi of the mechanical gauge readings. If they are within 153 kPa 22 psi, continue. If they are not, the supported repair is a new fuel pressure sensor, then clear the PCM DTCs and repeat the self-test. Also be ready for a long crank after the system has been depressurized until fuel pressure comes back up. With the sensor comparison passing, check for low-pressure fuel system leak down. Relieve the pressure, connect the mechanical gauge, key on and pressurize the system. Cycle the ignition several times to charge the fuel system, then key off and wait 15 minutes. After the wait, the low-pressure fuel system pressure should still be greater than 310 kPa 45 psi. If it is, move on to the high-pressure pump electrical checks. If it is not, stop and diagnose the low-pressure side. Before testing these circuits, do not apply battery voltage across the fuel injection pump circuits. That can damage the fuel volume regulator solenoid. Key off and disconnect the fuel injection pump connector. On the 3.5 EcoBoost, measure pump resistance between C1673 pin 1 and C1673 pin 2 on the component side. The resistance should be between 0.3 ohms 3.1 ohms. If it is not in that range, the supported repair is a new fuel injection pump. Then clear the PCM DTCs and repeat the self-test. If the pump resistance is in range, disconnect the PCM connector and check the FVR and FVR-RTN circuits for an open. Measure C175E pin 1 to C1673 pin 1 and C175E pin 22 to C1673 pin 2. Each check should be less than 5 ohms. If either circuit is not less than 5 ohms, repair the open circuit, clear the PCM DTCs, and repeat the self-test. If the circuit checks continue, check the FVR and FVR-RTN circuits for a short to ground. On the 3.5 EcoBoost, work at C1673 pin 1 and C1673 pin 2 as presented for the test. The resistance should be greater than 10,000 ohms. If it is not greater than 10,000 ohms, repair the short circuit, clear the PCM DTCs, and repeat the self-test. Next, check whether the FVR and FVR-RTN circuits are shorted together. On this engine, measure between C1673 pin 1 and C1673 pin 2. That resistance should also be greater than 10,000 ohms. If it is not greater than 10,000 ohms, repair the short circuit, clear the PCM DTCs, and repeat the self-test. Then turn the ignition on and check the FVR-RTN circuit for a short to voltage at C1673 pin 2. If any voltage is present, repair the short circuit, clear the PCM DTCs, and repeat the self-test. For the pump operation check, disconnect the fuel injection pump connector and inspect it closely for pushed-out pins or corrosion. Reconnect it and make sure it seats correctly. Turn the ignition on, start the engine, wait 15 seconds and run the PCM self-test. If P0087 is still present, check the direct injection fuel injectors for external fuel leaks or damage. Repair as necessary, clear the PCM DTCs, and repeat the self-test. If the code is not present after the connector inspection and operation check, the system is operating correctly at that time, and the concern may have been caused by a loose or corroded connector. There are a few finish checks in this high-pressure fuel routine that apply when the diagnosis moves away from the straight P0087 branch. For the cold start pressure check, allow the engine to cold soak long enough for the engine coolant temperature to drop below 37. 8 degrees C, 100 degrees F. Start it, let it idle for 6 minutes, and run the PCM self-test. For the connector seating check, disconnect all PCM connectors and the fuel injection pump connector. Inspect for pushed-out pins or corrosion. Reconnect everything. Make sure the connectors seat correctly. Turn the ignition on and verify whether the concern is still present. If the final PCM operation check is reached, disconnect all PCM connectors. Inspect for pushed-out pins or corrosion. Reconnect them so they seat correctly. Reset the keep alive memory, and verify whether the concern is still present. If the concern is gone after reseating connectors, treat it as a loose or corroded connector type of issue at that time. Keep verification separate from testing. After any repair, clear the PCM DTCs, repeat the self-test, and confirm P0087 stays gone under the same basic conditions. The takeaway is simple. Prove low-pressure supply first, prove the pressure signal against a mechanical gauge, then test the pump control side and injector condition before condemning parts. For more diagnostic training, visit stepdiagnostics.com.